Team coverage turns now to Fox 12's Audrey Wheel. She's looking into what kind of impact the events and the nation's capital could have here locally.
Audrey, I know you're also tracking potential demonstrations tonight in downtown Portland. What are you seeing right now?
Yeah, right now we are at the Justice Center, and earlier we saw a group of about 50 or 60 demonstrators, but at this moment it seems that a lot of them have spread out a little, even maybe broken apart. It seems like they might be on the move, but we did see them first at the back of the Justice Center where that central precinct is located, and then up here at the front there was a speaker here earlier too. And earlier tonight the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office said they were aware of an event here calling on demonstrators to, quote, spread fire. We have not seen anything of that sort here, but with what we have seen in our area over these past 7+ months, now the question becomes, what could the future hold?
2020 was a tense and violent year in Portland, with both left and right-wing protests, clashes between the two, and times when police worked to keep groups apart. Now, after what unfolded at the nation's capital, Portland State adjunct professor Alexander Reed Ross says we could see more animosity here.
What do you think the next 6 months, say, will look like in Portland?
I think we're all going to be on tenterhooks. I think it's going to be an anxious time. We're going to need a lot of very strong leaders to actually turn out and try to ameliorate what could become an extremely violent period.
Today, Portland City Commissioners called for peace. The mayor said he didn't anticipate unrest, but has been in contact with the police chief to keep everyone safe.
Violence is a disease, which is more contagious than any virus that humans have ever known. And there's only one way to combat that disease, and that is to embrace the politics of peace.
Ross says during the election, there started to be some shift in demonstrations.
The far right started to take momentum from the left, and you started to see the number of left-wing protests going down and the number of right-wing protests going up. And effectively what's happened, I think, is that the left has sort of folded its energy into the electoral process, whereas the right has been moving outside of the electoral process and in opposition to it.
And he says there's a reason right-wing groups often come here.
Portland especially is the symbol of everything that's wrong with America to the far right. They see Portland through this really kind of dark prism as, you know, the Satanist capital of the United States.
He says now what we need to do is approach these situations seriously to bring stability and to make sure those who facilitated the event at the nation's capital are held accountable.
And just a block from where we are now, we are seeing a crowd seemingly reconvene and some people yelling at each other. We're not exactly sure what that's about or where the bulk of people who've been out here have gone. We'll, of course, keep on top of that. Meanwhile, the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office said they're working with agency partners, that they support the freedom to gather peacefully, but will not tolerate violence or criminal activity that threatens anyone's safety. And it sounds like some pepper balls or something of that sort. Again, we think this is part of the group that was here earlier gathered at the Justice Center, but we'll keep you posted on exactly what we're seeing out here. Reporting live in downtown Portland, Audrey Wheel, Fox 12 Oregon.